Hi, I'm John from Just Whiskey. If you like today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And consider becoming a Patreon with the link in the description below. Thanks so much for the Patreons that I do have that help support this channel. Much appreciated. And as a little teaser, if you are a Patreon, I do exclusive Patreon reviews. And the next one on deck is going to be independent bottling of Talisker 11-year-old from Old Particular. Single cask strength. That's going to be next for the Patreons. And remember, folks, it's just whiskey. What we have here is a re-review, more of a revisiting of the catalyst and the inspiration for me to start this channel 3 years ago. We're up to, I think, 208 videos over 3 years. And back when I first started, I really wanted to see if there was a difference between the Glendronach 18-year-old 2019, which supposedly or arguably has much older juice, up to 24-year-old juice, or mostly 24-year-old juice, and compare it to the Glendronach 18-year-old from 2020, just a few short months after the 2019, where it supposedly, according to the legendary Glendronach unofficial chart, went back down to a true 18-year-old. That was my third video that I did, but that's why I wanted to start the channel. And my first videos, as most YouTubers, it was very awkward, as are most of my videos, but they've become less awkward, I hope. But back then, I'll save you the pain, I really couldn't find much of a difference between the two. And I was really expecting, there was a lot of talk about this 2019 where it was supposedly, according to this legendary chart, all 24-year-old juice, and you could buy it for the same price as the younger version, supposedly. Okay, so 3 years ago, these retailed for about $170. Okay, so fast forward till now, and they're becoming a little harder to find, and now the price is $225. And back before they kind of rebranded, these are labeled as non-chill filtered, no coloring added. And I believe many or most, or possibly all, of the newer Glendronachs don't have that distinguished note labeling on there as to whether it is chill filtered or not. But these are labeled. So we have over here, on my right, your left, is the 2019 bottling, the infamous 2019 bottling. And my left, your right, is the Glendronach 18-year-old Allardice 2020. The 2019 over here was bottled November 28th, 2019. And over here, to my left, your right, it was bottled June 4th, 2020. So only a few short months apart. And this is just going to be kind of more of a recap. It's not going to be, there's no notes here, just kind of freewheeling it. These have been open for well over an hour. And another thing interesting, really, you can see the fill levels on these. These have been open for 3 years, and I've been just dipping occasionally, slowly. I think the first year I gassed both of these. Then I pretty much stopped gassing everything. And I'll tell you, for 3 years, the fill levels, the 2019 is about half full, and 2020 is a quarter to a third full. And I think they've mellowed out a little bit, but they're still holding up fine. So they're stored, away from direct sunlight and in a basement, so constant temperatures. So these glasses have been open for well over an hour. All right, on the nose, and I'm kind of gonna go both of them here. I'm hard pressed 3 years later to really have much of a noticeable difference. And too, as all scotches, whatever the label, the age statement is, that is the youngest liquid that's legally allowed to be in that bottle. So if a bottle says 18 years old, all of the liquid in there has to be at least 18 years old. So there could be some casks that are 20, 25, 30 years old thrown into there. Yeah. These are both fully matured in Oloroso sherry casks. So on the nose and palate, you're getting sherry notes, obviously. This is, these are sherry bombs, but they're 46% ABV, so they're very accessible. You're getting the typical sherry, a little bit of leather, but the prominent note for me on both of these is that grape juice note. More so on the 2020, okay? And the finish is a medium finish. It's got a tender sweetness to it that transitions to a very dry dryness to it. I would say the finish is a medium. And a little sip of water. And even after, when I first reviewed these, I believe I revisited them a short time thereafter, and there was it received a lot of views and comments, and some commenters said that these two are completely different, okay, but they're not. And that's my opinion, but I'm confident after 3 years. Occasionally I dip into both of these, still trying to see if I can find that difference. And they're both so similar. It's like splitting hairs. To be honest with you, they're blind. I don't think I could tell the difference between the two. So if you like an old school sherry bomb at 46%, if you feel comfortable paying $225 for an 18-year-old, then yeah, I haven't had any of the newer ones past 2020. I'm just basing it on these two bottles here that I've been playing around with. Again, if it's splitting hairs, I would say the 2020 has the grape juice is a little more prominent. So if you attribute that to youth, then maybe that's the case. But also too, some of the commenters 3 years ago had said that through their research, they found that some of the earlier 2020 bottlings could have the older juice in it as well. But it's a point of conjecture for sure. Lots of controversy with the Glendronach fan club for sure. But anyway, I've been wanting to do this now for over a year, and I finally gotten around to doing it. But my conclusion is the same from 3 years ago. Hopefully my presentation is a little less clumsy. But that's my conclusion then. that's been my conclusion every several months, is that these are so close. You're getting old school sherry, leather, grape juice with a dry finish, medium finish, I would say, and they've held up well over time. So if you enjoyed today's show, please give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and consider becoming a Patreon, where we'll be reviewing Old Particular Talisker 11-year-old cask strength single cask. All right. Hats off to you all, and take care, folks.